Morning, guys. Cool. Well, it's 5:10 a.m. So we're gonna jump right into it. So basically what we were talking about yesterday, we were expecting this to get swept, right? There's the sweep. And so basically once that sort of gave out, let's just go like this, 15-minute. Morning, everybody. So once this got swept, we could get interested, right? So once we change character, right, had the order flow shift from relevant demand, then we could have started basically looking at targeting, where are we here, 15-minute chalk. Yeah, so we've sort of got like our, it's not quite a flip zone, but it's just like a follow-up on a mitigation. This will be used later. So once we break above, could have started getting interested probably in and around this area like this, right? Just following mitigations through. Play the decisional and look at the extreme. Not sure what this looks like on the lower time frame, but I'm sure there's something in there for us. So once we come in, we gotta wait for the sweep, right? There's a very, very small sweep right here. Chalk up, probably get something on the second. So not really relevant to us right this second. Let's look at what the next possible play could be, right? So we kind of talked about this yesterday, where there's a huge take on liquidity right here. 15-minute liquidity. And essentially, like, what I'm starting to look for is I'd like to see a pullback of some sort off of this area would be the ideal setup. And then be able to sweep into the actual range, which is obviously this guy here, right? Would just give it a little bit more validity, would give us a level of liquidity to sort of take into the POI. Now, with that being said, all it means is, like, essentially, if we don't get a pullback here, we're going to be just looking at this larger sort of supply range. 15-minute supply. Actually, that'd be more of like a 4-hour supply. And you can have a couple like refined zones in here. So right now we would be counter trend, counter order flow, right? Like we would need to be able to see that 15-minute chalk in something like this, right? Because technically we're leaving from that demand zone that we're suspecting that there would be a decent push on. Now, keep in mind, we still have POIs that hold relevance up near the top. We have an unmitigated extreme. So like today's just going to be probably a day of development. Not to say or put words in my mouth or anything like that there won't be a trade that won't frame up. However, there's going to need to be some further development to really understand what the market's trying to do. Don't forget to check your news. I have posted the weekly news events. Just always a good thing. Excuse me. Oh my goodness. Always a good thing to just check and be aware of what's going on in the news as well, what could shake things up for this week. But I think my expectation, and I mean, this is pretty well playing out exactly how we sort of talked about it yesterday. We're getting into this higher time frame POI, but now we need some further development. We got all kinds of liquidity to sort of target in here. It's just a matter of what's going to essentially end up happening next, right? So if you go to and don't be scared to like flick through your time frames to make it make sense, right? You can see that the 1 hour is what we're reacting to. Chances are, like, we have liquidity above this high, even though we've swept everything. There's going to be a lot of people looking to trade this. So what that could do for us too is that creates a unique position where if we go like this and we actually end up wicking above and coming into the mitigation of this extreme, then we're going to look for further confirmations to then come down with a heavier roll into these built up mitigations here. So yeah, today, like Mondays are usually days where, at least in my opinion, it's typically like a development day. Usually is going to set the tone as to, you know, what direction we should be heading. Yeah, so I'm not going to be looking to jump in on like mitigations to the upside. I do have a sell bias, just given the fact that like this is a huge purge. We've broken structure. We're expecting it to dive into this region to sort of follow higher time frame mitigations and higher time frame EOF. And we have all the liquidity in the world to sort of support that move. So yeah, any questions about this, guys? Nice and short and sweet for Monday. I would presume that at this point, most of us are going to have very, very similar outlook on what it is that we're sort of looking at. Now, I mean, of course, on the flip side, we have this area here that we could look for longs from, but now we're obviously in a supply range. It just depends on what you want to do. So right now, technically, like the counter trend move is this move into here, right? Like we've established that the trend is high, low, high, low. It looks like we're putting in the lower high. So the easier move and the more logical move to get your, you know, like we'll call it the highlight reel or the trade of the week, is really just taking something from either here or the extremity up here down into the lows. So just remember that build your narrative from the higher time frame and just correlate it with those lower time frame confirmations, and just don't be scared to wait for your ideal setup. If it takes 2-3 days to develop, sit on your fucking hands. Doesn't matter, right? Like it's all about making sure that you're training your eyes to see what's relevant to you and how you can take the most money out of the market. Because how I trade and how you trade, even though we have the same flow chart, we should have the same trade ideas, but what we pull trigger on might be entirely different from one another. Cool. Well, that's going to settle it for today. I'll see you guys around 1 o'clock this afternoon, and we'll go over any trades that might have been taken. We'll also maybe build a case study around what was available if nothing was taken. Yeah, everything is going to be dependent on how stuff sort of frames up. So yeah, we'll see you at 1 o'clock, and yeah, have a good day, guys. Hope you guys had an awesome weekend, and yeah, we'll catch you guys in a couple hours. So have a good one, and we'll see you soon. Peace, guys.